For around 4 minutes, Ms Gosel.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I would also like to give a warm welcome to everybody in the gallery. I am honoured to open today's important debate on ending institutional racism in sport on behalf of the Scottish Conservatives. And I would like to thank the member, Kukab Stewart, for bringing this forward. I would also like to extend my thanks to Sport Scotland for commissioning the Changing the Boundaries report, Plan for Sport for conducting the review and producing the report, and Running Out Racism for their hard work in condemning institutional racism within sport, and for taking active steps to reform the way sporting bodies conduct themselves. Along with the member Kukab Stewart, I am one of the first women of colour to become a member of the Scottish Parliament, as well as being the first Indian Sikh in the Scottish Parliament. It has taken a long time for ethnic minorities to gain a voice, but we have one now. It's strange, we hear talk of fair and an inclusive Scotland, but this report reveals that as one of yet, it's merely an empty phrase and a tick box exercise. Sport brings out many emotions such as competitiveness, joy and pride, but unfortunately it also has an ugly side that has been known to bring out anger, bitterness and hate. When we think of racial discrimination in sport, we often think of it as abuse from opponents, fan club, but rarely from within the sporting bodies themselves. The Changing Boundaries report is a damning indictment of institutional racism, which still permeates our institutions. The review recorded a shocking 448 examples of institutional racism, with 31 allegations of racism against 15 different people, 2 clubs and a regional association. The definition of racism used in the report highlights what is often forgotten, which is that there is no process whereby individuals can report discrimination, then there is no opportunity for redress. And without proper reporting mechanisms, how can any organisation know about the extent of racism they are presiding over? In the absence of willingness or awareness to implement anti-racist infrastructure, sporting bodies are in effect inhibiting racism to go unchecked. Cricket is an internationally acclaimed sport with top teams from all over the world, such as India, Pakistan, Zimbabwe, New Zealand and the West Indies and many more. And yet to see institutional racism and such a lack of inclusion in Cricket Scotland is shameful. I am hopeful that changes to be made as Cricket Scotland, such as a new board and the collaborative working between Cricket Scotland, Sport Scotland, Plan for Sport and Running Out Racism, will see an overhaul of previous lack of oversight and scrutiny. But this is only the beginning. The Changing Boundaries report has highlighted what is missing from many sporting bodies across the country and provided recommendations which I hope will be an eye-opening for many. It is essential that BAME individuals feel valued, feel a sense of belonging and a sense of confidence that this club has in their interest and will condemn and take action. In conclusion, Presiding Officer, I hope that we do not wait another lifetime before we see transformation take place. Firstly, boards must be diverse. Only when the boards are representative with BAME people have a voice in the operational processes. Secondly, the Scottish Parliament must take more responsibility for the development and implementation of anti-racist infrastructure. And finally, Presiding Officer, we must incentivise sporting bodies to reassess their operations both structurally and culturally.